Welcome to the From Lab to Patient, Garage to Market podcast with your host, Phil Crowley. In each episode, we will discuss professionals serving the tech startup market and the various issues of importance to those companies. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, CrowleyLawLLC.com. Now here's the host of From Lab to Patient, Garage to Market, Phil Crowley.
Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We look to bring to you leaders in the life sciences and technology areas who can share their perspectives on developments in those areas, strategies for success, issues to be aware of, maybe even mistakes to avoid, to basically demystify the process of taking your great ideas from the lab to the marketplace. Today, I'm delighted to have with us Debbie Hart, President and CEO of BioNJ. It's the leading trade organization for life sciences companies in New Jersey. She worked with leading life sciences companies way back in 1994 and has led the organization since then, I would have to say, with great positive effect for innovative life sciences company in New Jersey and beyond. Debbie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Phil. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you've had a very successful career in building BioNJ over the years. And could you share a little bit about your journey? I mean, it's a long period of time, and you've seemed to me to have gone from success to success.
That's very kind of you. I have to say the premier word that I use to describe my career with BioNJ has been fun. It's been an incredible amount of fun. It has allowed me to have a tremendous amount of gratitude for the opportunity that I have. We get to live our passion, our why every day at BioNJ. And so it's just been a 30 plus year barrel of fun.
Well, I mean, starting a trade organization is no small task. What inspired you to get all those companies together? And I'm sure it's very much like herding cats. How did that happen?
So I will say, giving credit where credit is due, back in the early 90s, when this industry was really becoming established, really starting out, there were a group of companies, CEOs and others in the industry, both large and small companies, who came together and realized that this industry was going to grow. And they wanted to make sure that New Jersey would be a place where it could thrive and prosper and have opportunity. And so they came together and they met with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, then Karen Franzini, who was the CEO of the EDA, and said to Karen, this industry is important. It's, it has the legacy large biopharma industry, which has lived here for so many years. There's a tremendous opportunity for it to grow. And we think the state of New Jersey should help it do that. And Karen said, that's a great idea. Now, let me suggest to you that you go and you establish yourselves as a trade association and then come back and we'll talk. Well, I was very, very fortunate that I have an association management company, and those CEOs, along with our head lobbyist at the time, Brad Brewster of the Princeton Public Affairs Group, came and knocked on my door and said, would you help us establish this association? And it was my business. It was my life's work. And I could spell the word biotechnology back in the day, but I wasn't quite sure what it did and what it could do. And now, all these years later, we were fortunate to have the opportunity to work with this industry, work with those amazing leaders, some names that will go down in history: Dr. Saul Barrer, Dr. Don Drakeman, John Jackson, and others who helped figure out how to bring this industry forward and how to talk to the state about supporting it and what could be done, and then brainstorming and thinking long and hard about ways to grow it. And in fact, that was the platform, the foundation upon which BioNJ was built, and how, again, giving credit where credit is due, it takes a village. And so to enable the industry to do what it does, supporting patients, making sure that patients are getting the therapies and cures that they need. And that's been the journey, and that's the origin.
Well, the thing that impresses me very much about what you've been able to accomplish is something that people talk about a lot. And we hear a lot about this in the press, about these public-private partnerships. But it's something that you have certainly made work in New Jersey with your close association and work with the state. I know that your tagline is "because patients can't wait." And I know that nothing happens as quickly as we would like in the technology space. You've got a unique perspective. What do you see as some of the obstacles that stand in the way of startups and research-based life sciences companies? What are the things that people have to think about removing to accelerate the ability of these companies to help patients?
So there are a myriad of things. This is obviously a really important industry, and it does take, as you mentioned, a long time to make things happen in this industry. It takes 10 to 12 to 15 years to bring a therapy to market. It takes more than $2.5 billion with a B dollars to make it happen. So finding the money, fundraising has been a challenge from day one. It will continue to be. That's sort of evolved over the years in terms of the kinds of challenges and the reasons for the challenges, but certainly fundraising is critical. The fact that government has a key role to play and can be a really supportive partner, and on the other hand, in some ways can challenge the industry and not always do things that are in the best interest of what we think for patients. Again, patients can't wait, and they need the therapies and the cures that this industry can bring forward.
Well, I noticed your focus on funding, and my clients, which tend to be startups and smaller companies, certainly are subject to that. It seems to me that the pendulum swings back and forth. In 2021 and 2022, people were basically throwing money at biotech deals, many of which did not work out, with the result that there was a dearth of funds available in 2023 and 2024. Pendulum seems to be coming back, but I noted that BioNJ has this unique partnership and collaboration with Tech Council Ventures, which is a primary venture capital organization in New Jersey. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. That is a deal that we struck with Tech Council Ventures just in the last 8 months or so. It was a long time coming, I will say. And the Tech Council Ventures has been a very successful venture fund, now in their third fund. And so we wanted to look for ways to be supportive of them. They wanted to find ways to be supportive of us, and more importantly, for our companies, for our industry, and ultimately for patients. And so we, put our heads together and thought about what might be helpful. And so we did put this deal together where we are helping to tell the story of Tech Council Ventures, the opportunities that it can present to small companies, early stage companies, and investors alike. And so we are, again, very committed to getting their story out, sharing it with potential investors, with early stage companies, so that they can look for investments and investors, and hopefully successfully, ultimately, have their Tech Council Venture Fund 3 will be just as successful as 1 and 2.
Well, it's really helpful that you're attempting to facilitate that for smaller companies. It seems to me that there are many benefits that belonging to a trade organization can confer upon smaller companies that don't have all of the resources that a Johnson & Johnson, which is where I worked, or Pfizer or Lilly or Merck have. in-house. What are some of the things that BioNJ can do for these smaller companies?
So our members, we have over 400 members, and it represents the entire continuum of the industry. We're very fortunate that in New Jersey we have the entire continuum of the industry. So it includes the very early stage companies, the mid stage, as well as the large, the household names that you would know, the traditional legacy biopharma companies and everything in between. And then those who support the industry, the accounting firms, the law firms, the clinical research organizations, the academic institutions, government, et cetera. So that's the full gamut of our membership. And so everything we do is about making sure that innovation is happening in New Jersey unencumbered and that patients can then access that innovation. And we're always looking for opportunities, again, to make sure that all of the different players are supported and have opportunity. And so that's, spans the gamut of making sure that we are bringing the industry together. Networking is the number one reason that people come to BioNJ. They want to meet people like you, Phil, and others in the industry. So last year alone, we created 58 different programs of all shapes and sizes, from our C-suite summit, answering the question, what keeps the C-suite up at night, to our annual dinner meeting and innovation celebration, where we celebrate each and every year the companies with a footprint in New Jersey who brought a drug to market. And traditionally, New Jersey has represented at least 25, if not 50, up to 50% of all of those drug approvals each and every year. So, and then lots of things in between. Every vertical, player in the industry has a place at BioNJ and a program. So bringing programming, education, and forward is really important, and networking. Public policy, that conversation I alluded to with Karen Franzini, that's the pillar upon which we were founded. And we want to make sure that at the state level, the federal level, and every level in between, and the county government, that local towns, or et cetera, are being supportive of the industry. And so again, that's the pillar upon which we were founded. That's where we spend a lot of our time in policy advocacy. The third pillar, as we call it, is making sure that our companies can find money and save money. And so you mentioned the Tech Council Ventures deal that we did. In addition to that, we have a number of programs where our companies they're buying lab supplies, and they have the ability through our program to save money on lab supplies and other categories such as office supplies and insurances, et cetera. And then the fourth is workforce. So helping our companies find people, and our people find companies when they need it. New Jersey is a mecca for talent. And it comes from the legacy big biopharma industry that's been here for years and years. And as the earlier stage companies have grown, the talent pool has grown as well. So we feel very passionate about creating opportunities for companies to find the right people. And again, the reverse is true as well.
Right. And, with respect to your discussion of networking, I recall that the BioNJ Partnering Conference has been a spectacular success over the years, and a real opportunity for smaller companies to get to meet with and learn and have larger potential strategic partners learn about their capabilities and their technologies. I recall one recent BioNJ Partnering Conference, you had over 500 attendees at the in-person event, with representatives from 35 states and 17 foreign countries. So people may think of BioNJ as a New Jersey-focused, New Jersey state organization, but BioNJ attracts interest from many, many other areas, in part because what you articulated, Debbie, and that is the great wellspring of talent that we have here in New Jersey. Let me just take a moment here to acquaint our listeners with Crowley Law, my firm. We're a boutique firm that's really passionate about helping life sciences and other technology entrepreneurs realize their dreams, to take great ideas from the laboratory bench to the patient's bedside, or from the garage, or these days, the dining room table to the marketplace, to enrich the lives of thousands of millions of people. I'm a former research physicist, and so I understand how difficult it is to create new knowledge. And as an experienced corporate lawyer with several decades in the Johnson & Johnson Law Department, I understand how difficult it is to take those new ideas and actually make products and services in the marketplace that help other people. And so we are really focused on helping innovators and founders protect their interests and move their projects forward. We have a website, Crowley Law LLC.com, with a host of free resources that deal with issues relevant to startup and technology companies. And in addition to that, I have an ebook that's been pretty popular. It's called The Top 10 Causes of Failure for Technology Startups and How to Avoid Them. So I recommend that to your attention. If you have issues or projects about which you'd like some input, please contact us at info@crowleylawllc.com. We're here to help. Well, Debbie, let's go back to BioNJ and some of the terrific work that you do in collaborating with state organizations like New Jersey Economic Development Authority. I'll give a cross promotion to another conversation that I've had with Kathleen Coviello, who is the Chief Economic Transformation Officer of New Jersey EDA. So if you see this edition of the podcast, please look for the edition with Kathleen Coviello. I think you'll find them quite complimentary. But what's your experience been in terms of your ability to motivate state agencies to work with you?
Sure. So again, I mentioned that, at the outset, it was a state agency that recommended that BioNJ be founded. And so that has allowed us to sort of take that seed of a relationship and build upon that. And Phil, I just want to say, so interested to hear your description of Crowley Law. I would say you are a pillar of this community. You are, a very engaged and obviously informed member, and we very much appreciate your support and also this opportunity to be with you today. So thank you for everything you do for the industry. Sure. And so, the Economic Development Authority and Kathleen Coviello too, we frequently end up speaking on panels together. And, she is just a creative and committed soul and professional at the Economic Development Authority. And she really represents what the authority does and how it does it and the passion that it brings. And also this administration, since we were started in the early 90s, each and every administration, each and every governor has brought his or her stamp and his and her area or level of kind of support to this industry. So that's one of the ways that we've been able to continue to grow. So government partnership has been critical. So the Economic Development Authority, if you look at, state by state, and you look at the different incentives and the programs that New Jersey offers through the Economic Development Authority, state by state, New Jersey comes out on top. It's just incredible the support that this state has given this industry and other industries as well, technology in general as well. Also, the Commission on Science, Innovation, and Technology is another government program. Full disclosure, I happen to chair that. I was appointed by the governor to chair the commission. But the commission, the executive director, Judith Sheft, has done really important work, I think, in our mission is to support the very earliest stage companies. And they are getting a variety of different kinds of grants. So it's non-dilutive capital grants, and it's really helped a lot of the very early stage companies get off the ground and then continue to grow as well. And then I think every department you look at who could have a hand to play in this industry in the state of New Jersey is doing its share, doing its part.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. Debbie, you have kind of a unique perspective because you get to see companies at all stages of development. Do you have any tips on key issues to be aware of and to deal with, or key mistakes to avoid along the way? Because I'm sure you've seen some great successes and you've also seen some great not successes.
We have, and that's one of the most amazing and wonderful parts of the job. It's also one of the most difficult parts of the job, right? We see companies and leaders that we end up really adoring. We see them come and go and rise and fall and move from company to company. As in the early days of BioNJ, we had to revise our bylaws because it was the traditional biopharma industry. People sort of went there and stayed there for a long time. And then as the earlier stage companies came along, we had an established board, and we were having a lot of turnover because the industry was struggling to find its place, and companies were struggling to find dollars and success. And so we had a little bit of a revolving door. Mm-hmm. Given the nature of the industry. So we actually revised our bylaws to allow for that sort of, that turnover. But, the good news is that the industry has been around a while. It has grown in New Jersey, and it's evolved, quite a bit. But and we're hopeful, we expect that the industry will continue to grow as time goes on. But in terms of tips, I think about some of the things that our different chairs, our different leaders have told us, over the years. And one, came from Dr. Francois Nader, the former chairman and CEO of NPS Pharmaceuticals, which was then acquired by Shire. It was raise money whenever you can. Whether you feel like you're flush with cash, raise it anyway. Just go for it. Just do it. Will Lewis, who's the chairman and CEO of InSmed now, which is, realizing a great deal of success after a very, not real long, but a trajectory of early stage startup that continued to grow, enjoying some real success. And Will would tell you the same thing: raise money every chance you get. Also the other thing is that we've seen companies sort of, it's a roller coaster. It takes, again, a very long time, a lot of money. Sometimes there's money available, sometimes there's not. So, sticking with it and just understanding that perseverance is important, and also creativity. So always looking for the next way to raise money, the next way to bring something forward, whether it's through partnership, whether it's through developing something, a platform technology that you can then sell while you're, sell the service or sell the technology while you're also developing your own therapy. So, we've had an amazing group of entrepreneurs who've gone through BioNJ, who are still with BioNJ, and who've seen great success, and then others, not so much. And the other thing that it's wonderful, it's the way the industry works, but from our vantage point here at BioNJ, as companies are acquired, and we see those evolutions, and people sort of come and go that way. It's wonderful for the companies, and it's wonderful for the patients ultimately, which is, again, is why we're here. Sometimes it's difficult to watch these babies that we saw grow up, and then they sort of go away. But new things come from it. Therapies and cures are developed. New companies are founded. Dollars are then deployed in other directions, and so it's the way the industry works. And but as someone who cares deeply about the people that we work with, it's sometimes difficult to watch. But.
Right. Well, on the financing, to take a step back on the financing side, I have seen some companies be creative about trying to create a consumer-based product that is not subject to FDA regulation, and use that as a source of funds while they develop a more sophisticated product that then goes through the FDA pipeline and eventually becomes either a medical device or a therapeutic or diagnostic that's subject to FDA regulation. And then at some point, do some type of transaction with a major pharmaceutical or biotech company as a strategic partner to co-develop a product. And then the typical dance is to get an option on an exclusive license or an option to buy the company if that makes sense for the big strategic partner. So it's really interesting from my perspective as a corporate lawyer to see how that eventuates and how important it is for companies to get good legal representation up front so that when the big company comes in to take a look at things, they see that everything is in order. And not only does the company have great science, but they have a compliance network in place, a compliance structure in place so that potential liabilities are controlled. Now, you've had such a fabulous career with BioNJ. What keeps you excited about what you do?
I just love it. I really do. So first of all, we've had entrepreneurial leaders. Our board is entrepreneurial, whether they're with a large company or a small company. The approach that these leaders take in their work with BioNJ is that they enable us to do what we do best, to build an association, to create opportunities for our industry. They allow us to be entrepreneurial. They want us to be entrepreneurial. So we are creating each and every day here, the amazing team at BioNJ. I have to say that, it does take a village, and we're so blessed because we have, literally an amazing, awesome one. But so that is something that, first of all, drives us. Another thing is the fact that at the end of the day, we are working toward patients and making sure that patients get the therapies and cures that they need. We are making a contribution in terms of building the ecosystem, building the economy here in New Jersey. And so all of those different things are as rewarding as they could possibly be. And the fact that every day is different, literally every day is different. And it just makes it I go back to my original, it makes it fun. It's just a thrill and a pleasure. And it's my life's work and my passion. And I've just been so fortunate to be able to be in the role that I'm in and work with so many amazing people and, with the work that they're doing, because patients can't wait.
Well, it's you're one of those blessed people, Debbie, that loves what you do and has the opportunity to do it. How can companies get started and join up to BioNJ and participate in some of the great programs you have?
Sure. Well, thank you for asking that, Phil. We are a membership organization, and so we do hope that companies will join. And, really just filling out a basic membership application. And then we, have a conversation about how would you like to get involved? How can we support you? What is important to you? And we have ways to engage, whether it's active work on committees. Our committees help us figure out what programs we should be offering, what are the topics we should be talking about, and who are the experts that we should bring in to talk about them. So our members really help us drive our programming and help make our programming special. That's a really important platform for the work that we do and how we do it. They can get engaged in, providing testimony, helping educate us on the issues of the day. What are the things that we should be thinking about and planning for, and how should we be positioning things to, whether it's to Congress or the state legislature or the governor or other policy leaders. So there are countless ways to get involved. And we welcome this community and having the opportunity to have those conversations to figure out what works best for each and every member.
Super. And for those that are potential members, I want to give a shout out to the BioNJ website, bionj.org. and you can get all the information you need about membership. And I'll say that Crowley Law is a proud member of BioNJ and enjoy participating in its programs and certainly working with Debbie and her hardworking staff. And the time has really flown by, Debbie. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing about this great trade organization that is helping move forward biotechnology development here in New Jersey and also worldwide, because what happens in New Jersey in terms of the developments of companies who are, particularly those who are BioNJ members, enriches the worldwide community. So thanks again for your participation. Thanks to our viewers. And remember that Crowley Law is here to help. So contact us if you have needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. My absolute pleasure. We really appreciate the opportunity and wish you well. And thank you to all of our members out there, people who may be listening, for the work that you do to bring therapies and cures to patients who need them, because patients can't wait.
You've been tuning into the From Lab to Patient, Garage to Market podcast with your host, Phil Crowley. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, CrowleyLawLLC.com. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe, like, leave a positive review, and share with others.